Hello and welcome to Whiteout. So this is a guide to the spawn locations for the final stand premium map dog tags, or whatever they're called. So these are the dog tags that you get by finding the little white boxes, hitting them with a knife and then interacting with E. When you do that, you get the dog tag, the final stand map that you're on. And the locations I'm going to show you have come from this map and pictures done by DEATH3d and HJP. You can find these posted on Reddit or in the description below. Right, so I'm starting at F just because this is the end of the map it spawned me, and the first spawn point is over here in between these three rocks. So it spawns here at the base of this rock, and as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 3 rocks, and it's there. And the base is just over in this direction. There's only one spawn in the base. There are 2 pictures on this guide, but I think they're for the same place, and it's here. Now I know a box spawns here because I found one here, but I think the second picture is the same place but with the tent destroyed. So I think that tent's gone. So there's only one spawn point, but 2 pictures that look slightly different. Next spawn point near to F is around here, and this one is very vague. It says it's somewhere in these little boulders, and while that doesn't sound very helpful, you have got an advantage on Operation Whiteout, and that's that the boxes give out a heat signature. So IRNV scopes or MAVs, the boxes will glow white, and that lets them stand out from the background a bit better. Next, going to slide around to A, but before we get to A, there's this broken down snowcat here, and there are 2 possible spawn points here. So one is inside the track there, and the other is just inside that skid under the trailer. So 2 possible places at this snowcat. The next spawn point we'll take a look at isn't actually at point A either, it's on the firing range. And it's at the back of the firing range. So if you need to find this point easily, it's one of the sets of 2 concrete backstops, and it's the one that's furthest back next to this generator. So the spawn point is here behind the 2 backstops. You can see it's right at the back of the firing range, and you've got the generator there. So that's the spot you need to check. And there is one spot on the A flag itself. You need to head towards the main building at A, so run around the side of the camp, and it's on the side of the building towards B. So it's on this side of the building, and it spawns around here next to the building. So that's it for the A flag. Now we can move towards the B flag. Again, there are 4 spawn points around B. The first of them is on the hill that's opposite the entrance. And if you get up onto the position where the picture was taken, it looks like it spawns there. It's not exactly sure where the picture is aimed at, but this looks to be the rough spot. If we go inside of B, then there's a spawn point up on the platform that overlooks the flag. So if we go up onto this platform up here, and then on the right hand side we've got a set of doors, and it spawns right there under the door switch next to those boxes. The next spawn point is in the side corridor that leads out of B towards D, and it's by these boxes here. Now these boxes and gas cylinders may well be intact when you come, but it spawns here by the box and the wall. There's another spawn point close by. That's outside above the entrance. Now you can't actually make it up there, you have to go up the side, and there it is. It spawns on this little flat ledge over the entranceway. So looking at the entrance, it's on the left hand side. So now we can head over to D, and at D there's surprisingly only 1 spawn point, and that's up here under the radar dome. So all these legs look pretty much the same. The leg we need to look at is this one here at the back. Now the reasons for this is on the picture it shows you that tower and there's no fence. So can't be any of the ones that have a fence behind them, so it has to be this one, and the box should spawn on the inside. Right, so next we're going to move over to the little camp area. This camp doesn't have a flag, it's between D and F. And the first place we're going to look is here, in this triangle of tents. Should spawn right there in the middle. The next place is going to be here between these boxes, so it will spawn just there between the 3 boxes. And the final place was a bit tricky to spot because of the angle of the picture and because the tent on the left hand side is destroyed in the picture, but it will spawn on these rocks here. So somewhere on there your box will spawn. But because that tent was blown up and the angle of the picture, it took me ages to work out those were the rocks. So now we can go take a look at C, and we're going to get there from this tunnel that leads up from B, and that's because there's a spawn point inside the tunnel, and it spawns here by this destroyed box. Although when you come up, these boxes and cylinders will probably not be destroyed, but it's right there between the box and the wall. And there's another point just by the exit of this tunnel. So it's actually on top of one of these metal containers. So it's on top of this one here, but you can't get to it without going up onto the cliff above and dropping down. So if you're using a MAV, you'll be able to spot it really easily, but you can come up here and clamber over the rocks and simply drop down on top of it. And this is where it will spawn, on top of this metal container. So the next place we need to go have a look at is what's known as the Icicle House. So this is actually 2 buildings up here, and at this end of the building there's some steps with some icicles hanging off. If you break off the icicles you can look underneath and the box will spawn somewhere in there. So it's pretty easy to crawl under. The next spawn point is actually at the back of these 2 buildings, and I'm not exactly sure which of these feet it's going to spawn against, but the picture shows you one of these sets of 3 metal rods going into the snow, and so it spawns around here. The final spawn point at C is underneath this biolab, and good luck trying to work out where this one is. So the picture is taken from an incredibly low angle, really close to the box, so trying to work out what the background is almost impossible. So this is going to be something you need to search with your Ion IV scope or your MAV to look for the glowing little box, because it's just a lot of legs and little stones otherwise. There is one area we haven't covered yet, and that is F, and that's because F is a little different. There aren't any spawn locations on the point. What there are is spawn locations on ledges like this. So looking around on these pillars, several people have found boxes up here. Now there's only a couple of confirmed locations, that pillar and on top of this flat area by the little drop there. So most of the rumours about where these things spawn around here are that they're rumours, but there are a few confirmed ones that they spawn on top of these pillars. Now there's also one that spawns down the back here along this little back road by the back wall, but I'm not exactly sure where that one is. The final spawn point to look at on Operation Whiteout is between E and F, and it's in the cave system that runs in between the 2. You want to head to this snowmobile that's by the entrance exit that's closest to F, and it will be on this track here, well, on the ice next to the wheel there. So that's the final spawn point, but there is something worthwhile taking a look at. I'm putting this little clip in just to show you what the boxes look like to an MAV. So there's a box down here in between these 2 boxes next to the tent, and you can see it glows quite clearly. So even against the boxes, the snow and the little white boulders, it shows up really well. So some of those vague areas to look are good enough to an MAV. Right, so that's your spawn locations for the dog tags on Operation Whiteout. Like I say, it's easy to use the MAV to spot the boxes, but you do have to make your way to the box to knife it and interact with it. So I hope this helps, and thanks for watching.